Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Unity in Naperville's live streaming service. We're here every Sunday at 10:45. We are still having our services virtually, but we will soon be opening up, which you will hear more about later. My name is Rhonda Pignato, and I'm going to be the service leader for today. If you're new to Unity in Naperville, our minister here is Reverend Kitty Benson, and she will be up here shortly to do an opening prayer. And her message, she's going to be starting a series on freedom. Freedom! Every time I hear the word freedom, I think of Aretha Franklin, right? And it's so much fun to sing her songs and so much fun to sing all these songs. And even though we can't be together personally today, we know that in God's world, nothing separates us. Right, Kim Char?
Amen, as they say in Sunday morning.
Amen. So I'm speaking with Kim Char Meredith. She's the head of our music team called Highest Good. And the way we start our celebrations every Sunday is through the gift of song. It raises our spirits and it reminds us that we're all connected. So sing along. The songs are very simple. Wait, I shouldn't say that because Kim Char actually wrote this first song. It's very complicated, but simple to sing.
Oh, no.
Very simple to sing. No, it's in a simple message that will hopefully lift you up. So join in. Highest Good, take us away.
Good morning, everyone. Keep on playing, band. You know, I love this idea of freedom. A lot of people think of freedom as breaking away or being separate from something. We can think of it as quite opposite. Freedom is being truly, deeply connected at all times, for nothing separates us from the divine. That's true freedom. Let's sing together. I see no separation when you are my meditation. All times may I rest in this truth. You are always in me. I am always in you. Let's sing that verse again. I see no separation when you are my meditation. All times may I rest in this truth. You are always in me. I am always in you. Nothing separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Nothing separates me from the love of God. It's true. You are always in me. I am always in you. I see no separation when you are my meditation. All times may I rest in this truth. You are always in me. I am always in you. Nothing separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Nothing separates me from the love of God. It's true. You are always in me. I am always in you. Nothing separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Nothing separates me from the love of God. It's true. You are always in me. I am always in you. There you go. Woo! Let's just sit in that for a little bit. That's okay, right? Nothing separates us from the love of God. And oh, may we, throughout the day, just look around and see the divine everywhere and in everything. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. And everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. And God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. And God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. And everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. That's good.
God is, we are all that is good. If we could only own that in our heart. Let's just take a moment in prayer to let that sink in. God, you are all that is, including me. God, you are all that is, including me. We thank you, sweet Spirit, that the light that shines on our path, that the wisdom that guides our words, that the life that energizes our body, the love that harmonizes our lives with one another. You are, we are one. So it is. Now we let it be. Amen. We like to remind ourselves of that one presence by speaking our invocation every week. So this is your first time here with us. I will invite you to just read these words along and allow them to sink into your heart. And for those of you who are repeated offenders, what's a better word than offenders? Repeated activators. Let's just let this become, repeated activators. All right, let's speak it together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. That is the truth. And today's our first Sunday of the month, which is the day that we like to remember that we have children as part of our Unity community that could use some love and attention from us as we could use some of their energy. And I'm sure that many of you have had the opportunity to be with your children at home a lot more often in the last year. But just know that as we continue to unfold with the pandemic and see the light and feel the freedom, I will invite you to share your love and energy with them this morning to help support them through this changing time. Let's speak these words together up here on the screen. Children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the light of God shining in you as you through you. You rock.
Breathe in. Breathe out, release, allow. I open the windows, I open the door. Breath of life, carry away all that does not serve me anymore. Sweep through this house, from ceiling to floor. Breath of life, move through me. You are all that I am longing for. Breathe in, breathe out, release, allow. Let's sing that again. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, release, release, allow, allow. I open the windows, I open the door. Breath of life, carry away all that does not serve me anymore. And sweep through this house, from ceiling to floor. Breath of life, move through me. You are all that I am longing for. I open the windows, yes. I open the door. Breath of life, carry away all that does not serve me anymore. And sweep through this house, from ceiling to floor. Breath of life, move through me. You are all that I am longing for. Breath of life, move through me. You are all that I am longing for.
Breath of life. Can you kind of feel that when you're outdoors these days? The breath of life is coming back as if it were gone. It's never gone, but with these warming temperatures and the sun coming out and the snow melting, I feel free. I feel like any minute now the crocuses are going to start sprouting and daffodils are going to start showing. I've noticed that the thing that really says spring is here when the forsythia bush blooms. You know what that is? It's one of those rather large but frilly type bushes where their whole branch covers in little yellow blossoms. That's usually the sign that spring has sprung. And I also think that we're probably feeling that sense of freedom more and more as things start to change in the pandemic, where we're seeing less cases these days, at least in our neck of the woods. The vaccine has become available. Kids are starting to go back to school. Businesses are starting to open. And Unity in Naperville is scheduling our reopening for Easter Sunday. That's a month away. We'll tell you more about that later today. But it's just kind of an energy that frees us to lighten up a little bit. And I want you to remember that we don't need to wait for those conditions to change in order for us to be free. Did you know that? That all the while you have within you the ability to be free. I am free. Just say that together with me. I am free. And notice how that word free feels. That's what our new series is about, is feeling free, of being free, expressing freedom. It feels unrestricted. The word free means I'm unlimited. I'm not dominated. There's nothing that can hold me down. We have an old song in Unity. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, and so on it goes. Yeah, it's true all the time, everywhere. It's a feeling of lightness and a recognition that I am not under the control of any circumstance or person in this world. I am free, I am unlimited. And we're going to talk about different ways that we can know that and express it in our life. So today up here on the screen, our focus is on I am free to live beyond fear. This is a big one for most of us. And I'm going to show you later on how, many of us would say, I'm not afraid, I'm not feeling any fear. But fear often hides underneath other feelings in our being. And it's often that we are living in fear and don't realize it. But let me say it again. I am free to live beyond fear. Would you say that with me? I am free to live beyond fear. Now, I've often said and heard it said that we could say I am free to live without fear, but I've kind of rethought that. Because as long as we're in the human body with a human brain that has structure built into it to feel fear, we're probably not going to get through the rest of our life without one or two moments of fear showing up for us. And part of that is because it's built to cause our survival, to make sure that we're protected. And it's a good thing. It's a benefit. We know fear when we're out in the desert taking a walk and you hear a rattle. Don't move. That's your little fear button going off saying, protect yourself, don't move. But for the most part, the fear that we feel is something that comes up for a lot of different reasons, and yet we have to know that we don't have to succumb to it. So we're not going to be without fear, but we're going to live beyond it. We're going to feel the fear, but then do it anyway, whatever it is that we thought we were afraid of. And in order for us to do that, we have to know the truth that Jesus speaks of. And when we know the truth, that's what sets us free of fear. The fear that we're talking about is not just the instinct in the brain, but there's also a form of fear that's thought-based, starts as a thought. And that thought can and is usually focused on the future. Have you ever noticed that? What we fear is about a subject that hasn't happened yet. Otherwise, we wouldn't fear it. We'd already know what the situation was going to be. So know that your thoughts can come in as fearful thoughts as you think about something approaching in the future where you have a belief that you might fail as you approach this situation. And because you don't know how it's going to turn out, that energy of fear kind of just takes over. You know, it's something that can get so repetitious in our being that it sinks into the subconscious and it comes up without our having any control over it. You know, just a simple example of something extraordinary happened to you when you were young. You were at a lake with your parents and you almost drowned. Then suddenly, every time you're near water, or open body of water like that, that fear comes up out of the subconscious without you even knowing it. And that is very normal for how the psychological structure works. Again, it's about taking care of ourselves, and it's working at predicting. And you know, when we call it fear, it's working at predicting anything that's undesirable or harmful or negative in its nature. That's what fear is about, something that can hurt us in some way, or we think it can. And beyond the thought that is fear-based, then comes the emotion. The feelings follow behind. And when we're in strong fear, you know what that feels like. Your body might be shaking, or you get the sweats, or you're breathing fast, or your heart rate goes up, or your blood pressure goes up. Not often do we have fear that causes that strong of an emotion, but like I said earlier, fear can actually mask itself in a more subtle way, where we don't realize we're in fear when we are angry with somebody, or we're feeling depressed about something, or hopeless, or pessimistic, or feeling unworthy. All of those are emotional layers on top of the fearful layer. When you think about it, when you get angry at your spouse because they're always making you late, if you could dive down underneath the anger, you would see that it's coming from a fear that says, if I'm late, then something bad is going to happen. My boss is going to fire me, or I'm not going to be on time for what it is that I want to be, and then I'm going to miss something important. I'm going to miss out. So just check in every time you find yourself feeling any kind of negative emotion. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And just see if there isn't something going on in consciousness underneath that upper layer that you can look more deeply at. Because until we address this, it's going to continue to make itself known in different ways. So when we're feeling fear under whatever guise, it does a lot of different things. Most of us can recognize fear as that which keeps us from taking action. Does that sound familiar? You kind of get frozen in place, or you find yourself procrastinating because you're afraid you'll make a mistake. It also keeps us from being our authentic self. And instead, we say things that we don't mean. We find words coming out of our mouth being propelled by fear. We're finding fear taking root in the cells of our body so that we are at dis-ease, and we're creating disease. We're creating sickness. We're robbing the We're robbing the body's energy when we're in fear. It's also something that promotes selfishness, where we have to look out for ourselves first in order to make sure that we get our needs met. But the most important negative that fear does is it disconnects us from our awareness of spirit. It blocks the connection between what spirit is trying to speak to us, to live through us, because we are at a lower, slower energy. And we're going to talk about that here. One of the things I want to talk about that fear does is it ties us to a past that we long to be free from. Something happened in the past where you were hurt in some way by someone else, and as much as you would like to let go of that, that suffering has taken root. And suffering is actually another form of fear. It's just a different layer. It's a fear that drives us to keep telling the story in hopes that the more that we tell it to other people, the sooner it will go away, and yet it only makes it worse. It's a fear that causes a sense of resentment. There's another layer, another emotional layer on top of fear. Resentment can mask itself, but all the while what we're really afraid of is, what if they're right? What if what they said about me is right? What if the truth is I am not good enough? So I can't put up with this. I've got to maintain my resentment. I've got to continue judging them. I've got to continue pointing out how they're wrong. I can't forgive them. They'll just do it again. That's a very common, conscious or unconscious response that is really just based in fear. What if they do it again? And Jesus understood this when one of his disciples said, how many times do I have to forgive someone? 7 times? And Jesus said, no, 7 times 70, or 77 times, depending on which Bible you read. So what he was trying to say is not 77 times or 490 times. See, I can do math, right? 7 times 70, right, is 490? Okay. Yeah, so it's not that, literally. He's just trying to get across to us that forgiveness is something that you will have to do continually, because otherwise the ego will just keep bringing you back into the problem, into the thing that you fear, into the thing that you're resisting. So as we let fear cause these resentments in our being, it strengthens whatever that negative belief is. And it's just going to continue to rear its ugly head. It's going to keep us in fight or flight mode, which is exhausting for the body and the emotional system. You're always ready to push, resist, fight back, or run for your life. And that is obviously what ends up causing illness in the body. But as I said, holding on to resentment is a form of fear, and it ends up keeping us from hearing what Spirit really wants to do to release us from the fear in the first place. A little while back, I told a story about Ingrid Hankala. She's from Colombia, now an author and teacher and scientist. Yeah, she's got a lot of things going on for her. One of the books she wrote was A Brightly Guided Life. And she tells a story, it's mostly a story about her life as a little child. First of all, the most important thing you should know about her is that when she was just a toddler, she fell into a big tank of water, freezing cold water, and she died. She left her body, she saw her body over here floating away, and she had no cares about it at all. She just left and felt uplifted and was surrounded by beings of light. And thankfully, her mother discovered in time what the problem was and was able to rescue her and give her CPR and resuscitate her back to life again. But by then, she'd already had a good experience in the spiritual dimension. And as she came back into the body, she continued to live with a connection to that spiritual dimension. She does to this day. And so here she is around 8 years old, and she's a child that's very different from other children, as you can imagine. And she's very bright, and she's able to catch on to things really quickly. And she was in a class where her teacher was the same teacher she'd had the year before, and the teacher started teaching something. She said, Mrs. So-and-so, you're teaching what we learned last year. Well, that just ticked off the teacher like crazy, who didn't like her to begin with. And she ended up dragging her to the back of the room and making her sit at the back, which Ingrid hated. But she stayed back there, and then the teacher would never call on her. She would, separate the students into small groups. She would never let Ingrid be part of the group. She'd send the kids out to lunch to eat and be in recess. She'd never let her leave the room. She had to eat in the room. And she was so fed up with this that one day during lunch, she decided she was just going to go back to her seat in the front row. And of course, her teacher dragged her back to her seat. So she took off her shoes and socks, and she climbed up on top of her desk and said, "You have to see me now." She needed to be seen. She needed to know that she had value, that she existed. And the teacher drug her to the principal's office. "You're in trouble now." Her response was, "No, you're in trouble now." Can you just hear this? And the teacher said, "Hey, it's your word against mine, and I'm the adult. No one will believe you." So at this point, she goes into the principal's office, is not allowed to speak, and is sent home. And Ingrid goes to bed that night, and she asks the spirit that she is connected to what's going on. Well, the first thing she said was, "There must be a way I could hurt her." Ever thought that? There must be a way I could hurt her. And the story says that night, while I lay on my bed, the beings of light told me there are easier ways to clear obstacles. If you caused her any harm, your energy would become like hers. Let that sink in. Therefore, you would not be acting any different from her. And they added, it's not through pain that we alleviate pain. Ingrid said, "I'm sorry. I tried to talk, but no one at school listened. I don't know what to do," she said, feeling regretful and frustrated. Could it also be fearful? And her guide said, "You will find the way. Talk to the right people." So she goes home, and that weekend, she gets a fever, and it comes and goes and comes and goes. And Monday morning it comes, and her mother's wondering, "What's going on in school? What's happening with you?" And she said, "I don't want to be in trouble." But her mom said, "You can talk to me." "No, they told me I can't talk to you. The teacher said that nobody would believe me." Okay, there it is right there. Nobody would believe me. That's the fear, that we don't have worth, that we are not of value, that no one is there to take care of us. And so her mother listened, and she went to the school at lunchtime when she was stuck in the classroom by herself to see the principal, tell him what's going on, and ultimately made a very nice speech about kindness and respect and ethics to the entire classroom and the teacher, and then she withdrew Ingrid from the school. At that moment, her fever left her. So that night, she's chatting with her spirit guides again, and she heard, "Being afraid doesn't resolve anything, does it? Clearing yourself from fear is a good way to start. When you close your eyes and focus on the light, your mind becomes quiet, doesn't it? It's because fear cannot exist where there is light. In the absence of fear, there's only love. And when there is love, the way reveals itself clear and easy. When you are one with the whole, with a capital W, there's only one language, love. If we would just know that if we would take charge of the fear, which we are completely in charge of, and move into that energy of love, we would find everything that we need. What's happening here, as we talk about often in Unity, is the presence of God that we say is everywhere is spirit. We even would say it's a spiritual essence or a spiritual energy. And our very beings are made up of spirit. And when we know that, we recognize that spirit has a certain way of feeling. And you know when you are connected with spirit because you feel light, you feel free, you feel love. It's at a completely different spectrum than fear, which is a heavier, slower energy. Fear is what resists our life, and love is what allows life to be what it is. So when we find ourselves fearing offering forgiveness for a past hurt, all we're doing is living in that slower, heavy energy that causes our suffering to grow, because that's what the law says. What we focus on expands. And the more we let that heavy energy grow, the more it obscures our ability to know love and to know the freedom that love offers. Our work here, in order to be free of what we fear, is to turn our thoughts in the direction of God, of spirit, of love. And that is the energy that will not only heal us, but we will discover fear and love cannot reside in the same place. There will be no fear. It's our chance to cast our fear on the Christ within and go free. It's our chance to know the truth, to find our guidance, which will come easily and clearly if we will simply be in that place of love first. And I know that's hard to do toward the person who has hurt you. So practice it by looking at someone that you do love and just allowing that energy of love to start to lift you up. I am free to live beyond fear when I turn my thoughts towards love. Up here on the screen, can we say that together, please? I am free to live beyond fear when I turn my thoughts toward love. Fear is also what keeps us from being ourselves, from being authentically me, authentically you. Here's some of the things that go on in our ego. If I share my beliefs, they'll judge me. How many times do we see that on Facebook every day? You share your beliefs and instantly somebody comes right in to judge us. If I do what I prefer, if I decide I want to go to this restaurant, he might leave me. If I express my talents, I might embarrass myself. If I am open about what I'm interested in, other people might be bored. If I am revealing my true feelings, I might be rejected. These are the kinds of things that our fear talks us into believing, and therefore we withhold who we are. Instead, we pretend to be like someone else. But the truth is, the number one reason we are judged by others is because we have begun by judging ourselves. That is the energy that we send out to the universe and therefore attract more of in our life. All using these baseless fears that truly are not based on God or spirit, which is what we are. I am free to live beyond fear and to be myself. Will you say that with me? I am free to live beyond fear and to be myself. So realize that we didn't come onto this planet to be like everyone else. We've talked about this before, how important it is to be our own individual expression of that single presence of God. We speak of it as the Christ, and it's here to express itself uniquely through you. I think this is what Jesus was talking about when he said from Matthew chapter 5, he said, "You are the light of the world. People do not light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others. How can we be fearful? How can we hold ourselves back when we are light? Jesus so believed in our unlimited potential that he told us to be perfect, as God is perfect. Now, that's pushing the envelope if we don't actually have that potential, but we do, because we are spirit, and that part of ourself is whole. And when you are one with the whole, you are one with love, and love always knows the highest and best of who you are and expresses that way too. That infinite potential within you belongs to you and to every being on the planet. When Jesus talked to his disciples, he was talking about the most important commandments from the book of Mark. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. So that first part, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, that is being your true you. When you are loving with your whole being what God is, you are truly loving yourself. And I know how hard it is to love your neighbor as yourself if you haven't been able to get to loving yourself. So it's a little bit of a puzzle, but realize that if we're afraid to be ourselves, we're basically just turning our thoughts towards those fear-based ideas, where at the same time, when we turn our thoughts towards God, it's as simple as knowing that there's only love. We cannot have fear and love in the same room or in the same mind. There's nothing that you need to do to earn God's love, and there's nothing that you can possibly do to lose God's love. It is your very nature as spirit. You are love. Turn your thoughts in that direction. I am free to live beyond fear and to love myself. Let's say that together. I am free to live beyond fear and to love myself. Let's say it again. I am free to live beyond fear and to love myself. You are in charge of that. You are that free to be able to do that. And finally, I want to talk about how fear is something that keeps us from trying new things. Yes? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows to fear trying new things because it's part of our survival mechanism. And when we talk about new things, we're talking about venturing into the unknown, and the unknown is untried, and therefore we don't know what the result is going to be and what if, right? That's what keeps us from trying new things. We can't predict the outcome. So instead, we fear failure. We fear asking for help when we need it, because we think we're going to fail. And we often fear when it comes to trying new things is, what if I choose the wrong thing? Have you had that thought? What if I start off on this path and it turns out to be the wrong thing? So recognize that your fear is a form of faith. It's the same thing, it's just in something unhealthy. Fear is a form of faith. So when you're fearing failure, it's saying, I have faith that I'm not enough. How does that feel? When you're fearing failure, it's saying, I have faith that the universe is against me, that God is against me. When we fear asking for help, we're basically saying, I have faith that I will be rejected if I ask for help. If we fear that we won't be satisfied, that we'll choose the wrong thing, we're basically saying, I have faith that there's not enough, and no matter what I choose, I'm going to be sorry. So recognize that every time we use that fear, we are generating a form of faith that will keep us from knowing all the good that God has for us. Something from the book of John, Jesus said, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact do even greater works than these. So when he's saying the one who believes in me, we're not talking about a man, Jesus. We're talking about that Christ spirit. When you believe in the Christ spirit within you, the presence of God within you, you will know that that Christ within you carries all the potential that you need to try new things. Spirit knows this. And so if we can just learn to say, you know what, I cast this fear on the Christ within and I go free to try some new things. What's the worst that can happen? God. How bad is that? Because God is the only presence in this process. So you can believe that you'll fail, or you can believe that you'll succeed, and either way you will be right. Because you're in charge of how your fear or your faith takes hold of your life and ends up creating more of the same. Recognizing that if you're choosing to let fear dominate, that it is not of God and it truly has no power, we're only giving it power in our minds. I am free to have faith in God. Just hold that in your heart for a moment. Why don't you just close your eyes? I am free to have faith in God. And when whatever that God presence is to you, that unlimited possibility, that is what you are. So we can let go of fear by following the light, just as little Ingrid learned. We have to learn to follow the light. And as we give our attention in that direction, toward love, toward spirit, towards the all in all, to the whole with a capital W. It's one of our values in Unity, wholeness. When we give our attention in that direction, that which feels good, that which makes our heart hopeful, that which sets us free, now you are living as the free being that you were created to be. I am free to live beyond fear and follow my heart's desire. Let's say that together. I am free to live beyond fear and follow my heart's desire. Let's take some time in the quiet and just let these fearful thoughts dissolve into what we know to be true. This is our chance to know the truth, that we may be set free. Let's just begin by relaxing the body. Remember that its first reaction physically to fear is to tighten up, to stress. So let's begin by thinking of spirit, where there is only light and love, and breathe in that love. I am free to let go of fear and to live in ultimate light. Breathe in again the breath of life. I am free to relax and allow love to guide me. Another deep breath. I am free to turn my thoughts toward God and know that all is well. Deep breath. I am free to know the truth as the truth sets me free. Another breath. I am free to forgive and let love lead. Breathe again. I am free to follow my heart and try new things. Breathe again. I am free to be my authentic self. Breathe again. I am free. I am free. I am free. This is the truth of my being. I am free. And now I let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Kitty. There's so many great things in that message. If you're a member of the 12-step community, that's another thing that fear leads you into, addictive thinking. Our 12-step communities, they inventory their fears and discover how they lead to resentments and how they cut us off from our spiritual path. So everything that you said was perfectly in line with that spiritual message. Now is the time in our service where we share in our tithes and our love offerings. If you consider Unity in Naperville your home, we ask that you support your home so that we can continue to grow and be here for you. Soon we will be here for you live. If you're visiting us for the first time, we hope you found something that you enjoyed here. And if you are somebody that comes back regularly, please consider donating to help to support this message. There's a variety of ways that you can donate to Unity in Naperville. If you're watching on Facebook, there's a donate button. You can go to unityinnaperville.org, and there's ways to donate there, very simple ways. You can also mail in your donation if you prefer, and the mailing address is on the screen, P.O. Box 9733, Naperville, Illinois, 60567. And as we consider these donations and these contributions to our spiritual community here, let us bless those offerings with the words that we're going to put up on the screen here. So please say these together with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
they great? We are grateful and we are blessed. Thank you all for just being here week after week and bringing the music out in our live stream. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Now is the time where I'm going to be sharing our announcements for the week. If you're the newcomer, welcome again. We're really glad that you found us. We have a lot of things going on here at Unity in Naperville. And every Tuesday, there's an email blast that goes out to just list all the things going on that week. So if you would like to be part of that email blast, please sign up for our weekly e-news at unityinnaperville.org, or you can email admin@unityinnaperville.org, and we will add you to that list. What? Blast. Oh, yeah. We're going to have an email blessed that's blasted out. There we go. Okay. I like that too. Let's dive into what's happening this week. The first event we're going to talk about is our Lunch Together Online. And you're going to hear this over and over again. We have a special channel called Unity Community Connect. So get familiar with that. Sign up. It's really easy to sign up for because the majority of our events are listed in there unless we say otherwise. And you click in there and they're set up on separate little channels and you can go right into the Zoom calls right from there. So our Lunch Together Online is something that Kim Char Meredith and Cindy Blank has been running for the past year. Every Tuesday and Thursday at noon for an hour, people come with their food, they come with their personalities, with their dogs, with their recipes, whatever it is.
Sometimes very random topics. So who knows what we'll discuss.
And you don't have to be there for the full hour, right, Kim?
That's right, 5 minutes.
Yeah, just jump in and say hi, or spend the hour and have some fellowship. So in order to get there, you can go to unitycommunityconnect.com and then click on the channel that says Lunch Together Online, and then you can click into the Zoom call from there. For those of you taking the mission statement class based on the book The Path, it will continue to meet this Tuesday at 7 p.m. So go to unitycommunityconnect.com and select the Classroom 1 channel to view the reading assignment and to click on the Zoom in order to participate in that call. Every Friday in March at 7 p.m., you can join in the conversation at something called Sharing Circles. Sharing Circles is an opportunity to get to know each other in a very authentic way. It's a guided event. There's a host that's going to guide you through some questions and then break you out into small little breakout groups so that you can discuss what your thoughts are on those questions, share your experiences, and then they come together as a big group, and anyone who wants to share has the opportunity. But it's a way to get your spiritual mind thinking, to share some fun events, and even get to some emotional things if you choose to share those types of things. The small breakout groups are only 3 or more people, so they're very intimate. And in order to join that on Friday at 7 p.m., go to unitycommunityconnect.com and click on Sharing Circles channel, and then click into the Zoom call. Creagus Writers meets again this Saturday at 10 a.m. If you are new, you do not have to be a professional writer to be in this group. You can just be somebody that wants to try your hand on writing something out. We do these 10 minutes or 15 minutes, however we decide, guided writings based on a topic, or you can write on whatever you want, and then whoever wants to share, shares. It's a really good way to be in the midst of a lot of creative juices and to see what creativity is actually lying within you. So come join. Again, that's at unitycommunityconnect.com, and the channel is Creagus Writers. Jump into that Zoom call. Next Saturday, set your clocks forward. Fall back, spring ahead, right?
Forward. So we lose an hour?
Yeah, so if you show up here at 10:45, we'll be ending service. So make sure, right? Do I get that right? I kind of have that backwards too. I'm a little backwards because, like my car clock is very difficult to reset, and I tried to do it a couple times. So I'm actually glad that we're changing the clock because now it'll be right, because I never changed it back when we were supposed to change it. Don't tell anybody. Okay, and then we have another event led by Susan Rios. She's an accomplished artist who resides in California. She will host our watercolor brush pen class on Saturday, March 20th at 10 a.m. Susan wants you to know that everyone, and she means everyone, will be able to do this picture, and she will work with everyone every step of the way. So you don't need to know how to be a professional artist. Even if you've never created or painted, you can do this. That's in quotes by her. You can do this. You will want to sign up as soon as you can so that you have time to purchase the proper supplies needed for the class. To register, go to unityinnaperville.org and click on our event calendar, and then click on the registration link for the watercolor class. Save the upcoming dates on our membership class. There's going to be one March 28th from noon to 3 and one April 10th from 9:30 to 12:30. Even if you're not sure you want to be a member, but you want to learn more about Unity in Naperville, come. It's a really enlightening class about what we believe. It's a nice little training on spiritual beliefs. Also coming up is styrofoam collection. In order to recycle the styrofoam, you can wash it out and then bring it here on one of those 2 dates. And we have little styrofoam elves that will make sure that those get taken care of in an environmentally responsible way. That'll be April 11th and April 18th. You can bring your styrofoam. Check the e-news or event calendar at unityinnaperville.org for more details on events. And I just want to remind you that we have prayer chaplains here that are praying for you, that are praying for us as a community. And they hold that special light for us, but they're also willing to hold your prayer thoughts, anything you're struggling with, confidentially with you after the service. So if you want one-on-one prayer support from one of our prayer chaplains, they will be available after the service. You can just email your name and your phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, and a prayer chaplain will call you back by 1 p.m. Please remember to put prayer on call or POC in the subject line, and please remember to get that email out before probably 12:30, closer to 12, so that they can have plenty of time to get back to you. And now we just have a few more really exciting announcements, and Reverend Kitty's going to bring those to us.
Thank you,
Thank you, Rhonda. Yeah, lots going on around here. A year ago, we started a Buzz team, and the Buzz team was meant to get us through these times of pandemic that were new to us. We got really proficient at it after a while, and our Buzz team stopped calling us. But we want our Buzz team to come back together again to help us make phone calls to our congregation, to just let them know a little bit about what's coming up in the near future as far as opening our building again and any questions that you might have. So if you were on that team and you'd like to rejoin and help us make those calls, or you want to be on the team, you haven't been on it before, would you please send an email to admin@unityinnaperville.org this week? And we will give you some training and put you to work. We'll probably be making phone calls between March 10th and 20th. So I hope that you'll think about that and see if that is yours to do. It's a fun way to just chat a little bit with our congregation. Secondly, not on the list, so hold on one second. I got one thing to add here, Cindy. Well, you can put up the slide about the project, the staging project. You know, we were doing Staging an Awakening World, where we're staging an awakening in our sanctuary, building a new stage. And we're actually going to be having a whole load of lumber brought in on Thursday of this week. So if you're somebody who wants to help carry wood in from a truck into the room, we need your help. And you can email admin@unityinnaperville.org, and we'll let you know the details of that. But I also noticed before Thursday, if anybody has a little carpet cleaner, like a machine carpet cleaner that you'd like to come and apply to our spots in our sanctuary, now's the time, because all the chairs are out of the way. So if you're feeling magnanimous and you want to bring in your carpet cleaner, would you also email admin@unityinnaperville.org? And if we had 2 or 3 people in here, I'm guessing we could get it done in a few minutes. There's not many spots, but it would be nice to get them up if we could. And then also, I just wanted to remind you that we are reopening the building to a limited number of people. I think Illinois has told us we could do 50% capacity, but we're doing 25% to start with. And so on Easter Sunday, April 4th, we will be opening the building for about 35 congregants, and we're going to do 2 services that Sunday, 9 a.m. and 10:45. We will have the band on both of those services, so they'll look exactly the same. We're going to be following very strict COVID safety guidelines, which we will put on the website so you can see what that involves. And by registering, it means that you're agreeing to be part of that. Also, we're registering so that if it turns out we have 35 people signed up, then we will close that particular service. Then you're going to want to try the other time that day. But if you don't make it into the Easter Sunday service, we also will be doing Sunday services in the same way for the following weeks at 10:45 only. Okay, good. So if you couldn't get into your favorite time or date, your name will wind up on a wait list, and should somebody cancel, we're hoping we know how to organize all this, we'll be giving you a call to let you in. So don't feel bad, put your name on a wait list. And then also, I would go ahead and put your name on another Sunday. And we're going to explain all this in detail, but basically we're trying to get each of you to only sign up for one Sunday a month to make sure everybody has a chance to be here in the building. And I know you want to, because you're going to want to see the new stage and how everything looks. So we're going to do our best to make sure that everybody gets in at least once a month. If you don't have any, first of all, you'll be able to register for the services starting this coming Wednesday on our website, unityinnaperville.org. So watch for it there. We'll also be putting this in our e-news on Tuesday. You can read more there. But if for some reason you're not able to access the internet and you want help registering for a service, you can either email admin@unityinnaperville.org, or you can call my office at 630-499-9968. I know it's a lot, but we're excited, and we can't wait to have you back here with us. We're just going to do a little bit at a time. Okay, it is March, the first Sunday in March, and we are celebrating all of you babies out there who were born in March. And we have a few pictures up here on the screen of people who sent their faces in, and then we have some names that I pulled off Facebook, so sorry if you didn't want your name known. But let's sing happy birthday to our friends.
Parker still looks like that.
Parker.
I think so.
How sweet.
I like Cammie's picture too. Okay, this is to all of you birthday babies. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
Yes. So we've got one more song to sing, and we've got a closing affirmation to say together, and we'll be here after that to receive your texts, questions, or comments about today or anything that's going on at Unity. You can send those in. You can do that even now. The number, do we have that up on the screen? Okay, 630-793 0993. Text in your questions, or you can put your comments in the comment box on Facebook or on our website, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. But let's sing. What do we sing?
Blessed always.
Oh, yeah.
Truly we are blessed, aren't we? Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say,
Okie dokie. Here's how we're going to remind ourselves this week on our new sermon series. Just look at that picture for a moment. Doesn't it just feel good to look at that? Calming, colorful, light-filled. Those are the kind of pictures you want to fill your mind with when you're trying to feel free. And let's say these words together. I am free to live beyond fear when I turn my thoughts to God. If that's not God, I don't know what is. Okay, beloveds, I hope to see you at something that we got going on this week. But if not, I'll hopefully see you next Sunday. And who has comments or questions about today? If you'd like to text 630-793-0993.
Right's watercolor class sign-up link is also posted on our Facebook page and in My Unity Peeps. So check out Facebook for that link to the class as well.
Great, thank you, Danette.
I get the impression that Cammie Lance was very much so blessed by this message today, Kitty, because there are a lot of comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, hugs to you. Holy cow, Reverend Kitty Benson, I so needed to hear this message. I'm just consolidating it for you, Kitty.
Thank you, Cammie.
Hi, Cammie.
I know that I needed to hear it. We all need to hear it. If we're having this human experience, it's part of life, and that's okay. Thank you for being here and being willing to do the work. That's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Beth Schwartz, I got my brush pens yesterday. People are talking about this class, Kitty. So fun. Can't wait for this class. I've invited family too. So please ask your friends and family to join this class with you. That's a great idea,
Yes.
right?
That
is a
one
great
of the
idea.
It's one of the benefits of the whole Zoom experience that we've been having
Yes.
this past year is that a lot of us that are spread out across the country can actually be together for something this cool. So it's a great opportunity.
And would we have done it otherwise? I mean, the teacher is in
I know,
California.
exactly. Well, let me tell you this. We probably wouldn't have really connected with the teacher because she's in California. So to have her in our life, first of all,
Exactly.
let alone bring this class, that's pretty awesome. Wonderful, empowering hour. Thank you, everyone, for the luscious soul food. You're welcome, Mary Beth. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Mary Beth. Cynthia Moon, wow, fear ties us to the past.
It does. As much as we don't want it to, it has, it can do it. It
That's
can
a good
do
way
it.
of putting it.
Heck. So we're free to live beyond that.
My friend Shelley Seibert is here with us today.
Hey,
Hi, Shelley. We love you.
Love you.
And
Haven't
so
seen
many
you in a
people
while.
are here. Arlene's here. Suzanne. Mary Wendt. Hi, Mary.
Hey,
Julie
Mary.
Hawkins. Good morning to you. Tony Pignato. Hello. We
Hi,
have your wife
Tony.
here.
Thanks for sharing your wife
Thank
with
you
us
for
today.
sharing her. And Karen Trednick, Kitty, Reverend Kitty, you rock.
Oh,
Just-
thank
just
you,
some love
Karen.
for
It's
ya.
nice to hear from you. I hope things are going well for you.
I guess this is a comment to your flowers mentioning of the crocuses.
Yes.
Gordon says the crocuses will pop up and the rabbits will promptly eat them all up.
Oh, man. If anybody knows what?
Circle
It's
of life.
the circle of life. But if anybody does know how to keep rabbits from eating your tulip bulbs before they open, I'd sure love to know because I love this rabbit. I fed him carrots when we had snow on the ground, for so long that it couldn't.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
eating the stalks of our bushes. So I thought, okay, they need food. So I would just throw out some carrots at dinner time every night and they'd get eaten. But the same lovely rabbit will come back in the spring and wipe out
Oh.
the few tulip bulbs that I have. So if you guys
Oh,
can
dear.
get I need your help. Send in your thoughts. Hey, use your text box right now. Send me a text. How do you stop rabbits from eating tulips? I even tried putting plastic over them, but
And?
it doesn't work.
Okay.
It falls off and
They laugh at you. They mock you, Kitty.
exactly. They're like
Plastic.
plastic. Like that matters.
I'll show you.
God bless them. Okay, I'm not getting very many
Not getting
texts here
much
today.
You know why? It's beautiful. Everyone's wanting to run outside. A little sunnier, a little warmer. Everyone enjoy outside today and tomorrow, right?
I know, it's supposed to be warm.
Very warm tomorrow.
Warm, warm, warm. Okay,
Beautiful.
here comes another text. This just in. Here it comes. Hey, Mark and Cheryl. Good to hear from you.
Hi.
Loved Kim Char's original songs at the beginning of the service.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, highest good. No
Thank you,
fear.
man.
We rock. No fear. Amen to that.
Cindy Spee says, the squirrels eat the bulbs too. So you got to share
Oh, well.
blame there.
That's
Rabbits
probably true.
and the squirrels.
A little fence out, cover them up. I don't know. I'm not that handy with things.
So that's about it. A lot of hellos.
Okay, kidlets, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go into the unitycommunityconnect.com site. So if you want to join me live on Zoom where I can see your face, you can see mine, we can talk back and forth, maybe talk a little bit more about fear today if you want to figure out ways to get around it. I'd be happy to meet and chat with you a little bit. Just go to unitycommunityconnect.com and look for the channel that says live stream chat. And then when you get in there, there's a Zoom link, and I will see you there. It takes me just a couple minutes to get logged in. So I'll see you in a little bit. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, King Shar and the band.
Thank you, Rhonda.
As invisible as they are,
disappeared.
we thank the band for their time here. Sending healing blessings to Kevin today, too. So,
Yes.
yeah, we'll hold him in our prayers. All right, my loves. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.